Well, first and foremost, thank you for the outstanding before the performance. It's true. And thanks for joining. Good to see some familiar faces. I mean, as the title suggests, what we're going to do is to guide you through what has been the process of adoptions of Moodle Workplace for us. And quick introductions about myself. I'm Hugo Caruso. I lead the Digital Learning Service Unit at the Staff College. And at the Staff College, we are responsible for the LMS design and implementations. Quick introductions about who we are. So I work for the UN System Staff College. As the name suggests, we are the staff college for the entire system. We work as an internal entity and had the privilege to work with all the different agencies that compose the United Nations system. What we do is that as part of this exercise, and also through the Moodle Workplace, we work with colleagues, analyze learning trends, understand needs, and then work together to design unique learning interventions that are by the UN for the UN. Why Moodle? As a very first question. We have been using Moodle LMS since the very beginning of our work. We are a true supporter and believer of Moodle Workplace and Moodle as an open source movement and community. But why Moodle Workplace? At that time, driven by the innovations led by the community, we were super early adopter of Moodle Workplace, and at that time we wanted to revamp completely our LMS infrastructure and system. We were really having eye on corporate needs, so it was in itself an alignment with our needs, but also something that allow us to scale up and make sure we target and address not only the needs of our learners, colleagues, participants, but also organizations, and in this roadmap also support the UN system as such. Besides that, as you can imagine, relying and working heavily on Moodle LMS for many years, we were in and out with ad hoc development and support by specific consultants here and there, but I let you imagine difference in quality and output. So for us, the true added value was to set up a partnership, in this case with the Moodle Premium Certified Partners, Synergy Learning, who by the way has been tremendous and instrumental in the growth that we have seen so far. So as a corporate entity, the possibility to have this long-standing partnership with a premium partner was a true added value. Also because one of the things that we did in this transition process was actually putting research and development at the core of our work. We move it through the articulations of a new LMS vision, a vision that is driven by the continuous development and work and by continuous engagement with stakeholders and partners, and in this case also with Moodle HQ in itself. One of the things that was very clear at the very beginning is that if we want to set it up as service, what we needed is to articulate a broader picture and leverage the flexibility and scalability of Moodle Workplace. And Kenny and Sofia later in the presentation will guide you through a few highlights of the development that we have done on the platform. Few goals, and I like to present it as the way we have scale up our services. First and foremost, by providing or by developing and investing on Moodle Workplace for us was also a contribution to the sustainability of the open source LMS. Being a service for the UN personnel, one of the very first development that we did is to scale up massively access, user registrations, and access. Another example of the way we use it, we actually combine dynamic rules and automations provided by Moodle Workplace with a report builder to create a solid analytics and robust design decision-making process. To that end, we went even further and integrated that with an automatic data extractions with visualization and output in Power BI dashboard. So something indispensable to support a user throughout the learning journey with us. The aspect of personalizations and self-directed learning, as we're going to show you later on, we have 3 instances of Moodle Workplace, and for the first time in the history of the UN, one of the Moodle workplace instances called the Blue Line is designed entirely around the idea of personalization and self-directed learning. So we look at the features and the service and the support offered by the platform as an added value to set up a theoretical learning framework that is truly done with the idea of implementing continuous learning process for everyone in the system. That process is also for us a strategic alignment. As I said, we work with colleagues, we work with agencies, but mostly we work with the UN system. Slowly but steadily, organizations recognize the opportunity to foster coherence. So an opportunity to use and work together through a similar LMS infrastructure and ecosystem. That is the one that we are currently offering. One thing that I want to, before handing over to Kenny, is a quick overview of the way we have set it up, our ecosystems. We like the idea of having 3 instances that could easily complement an interagency outfit that is what you can see on your left, the Blue Line, which is a platform open to everyone. All colleagues from the organizations could join independently of grade, where they are, the agency, and through personalization and self-directed learning, continue the journey with us and in cooperation with feedback with the rest of the community. The rest are 2 multi-tenant instances in which we deliver other typology of courses from the staff college, could be blended, tutor-based, but we also work together with other agencies. As you can see, for those who are familiar with us, UNFPA is one of the colleagues we work with, but we also have a separate dedicated instance with the global UN Secretariat. So we work together to this process of coherence and harmonizations, and we're happy to see that the appreciations for the common research and development process that we put it up so far. Now, let me hand over to Kenny, who will guide you through several developments that we have done on the platform. Thank you.
Thanks, Hugo. Just to introduce myself, I'm Kenny McCormack. I'm a solutions architect at Synergy Learning, and I've been working with the UN for about quite a few years now. It's 2019. Yeah, quite a long while. So I'm going to just cover some of the key technical aspects of what Synergy Learning has delivered to empower the UNSSC and ensure long-term stability and sustainability of their learning platforms. So the focus is going to be on 4 key areas that both drive efficiency and user experience. So the first one we're going to talk about is CRM integration, so that's streamlining data flow between the systems and seamless user provisioning and reporting. The second aspect is subscription, so the subscription management, enabling sort of scalable access to learning while simplifying management. Next area is going to be catalog and their learning plan, so giving learners the ability to explore, select and add content directly to their personalized learning plan. And the last aspect is going to be around dynamic rules and personalization. So the first item, as I said, we're going to look at the synchronization between their Moodle workplace platform to see it through their CRM. And that was implemented just on their main UNSSC training site. This is a 2-way communication supporting user creation, enrollment, and also pushing completions to the CRM from the LMS. The main purpose of this was to significantly reduce the manual administration that was involved in managing learners and their allocations on their platforms. So let's go into this in a bit more detail. So this particular diagram illustrates the end-to-end synchronization process for managing learning on their main college site. So the process begins on their main Drupal website that has a course catalog where their staff or partners can sign up, browse their catalog, select a particular course or subscription of courses on that particular platform. These user details are then synchronized with their CRM, so that's creating contact records and enrollment approval requests, and that's all automatically done. Once the request is approved, the enrollment request is approved on the CRM, they become a learning participant, And there's a process then that synchronizes both the learner and the user data and their enrollment onto that particular the staff college. So that's either a course or a program. So that's, as I said, creating and updating users on the LMS, assigning to the appropriate tenant where necessary, and enrolling them on a course or program. Data also flows back from the staff college, so that's updating participant records to reflect the their completions on the LMS. So that's, again, a course completion or a program completion. It also creates participants that are not known to the CRM, as well as learning participants on the Salesforce platform. So the way we did that was we implemented a number of local plugins to support integration. That all of the integration is driven by the LMS itself, and the core functions of this particular set of plugins is to regularly connect to Salesforce, check for new approved participants, and that runs every 5 minutes. It creates and updates accounts on the LMS, enrolls the users on the actual courses and programs, and also synchronizes the missing unknown participants. So to achieve that integration, it agreed mapping equivalent objects between the two systems. So that's a contact record being a user, an enrollment being a participant record, and a learning activity in Salesforce is a course or a program. And there's a number of different database tables on the LMS to keep track of everything and synchronized. As an extension of the actual enrollment synchronization from the CRM, we added also a subscription feature. So basically, if a user purchases access to a collection of courses, this is on the Drupal site, for example, this is considered a subscription. A user is enrolled on a primary course on the LMS, part of the CRM integration process, and that gives them access to that a collection of courses as a subscription. The users can choose then to self-enroll on any of the courses in their subscription if they want to. They're not automatically enrolled in all of them. Subscription courses are linked using, just the standard tagging feature that's in Moodle. So when using the catalog, which you'll see in the next slide, the interface visualizes whether a course is part of a subscription as well. So, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the catalog and learning plan feature. To UNSSC, Staff College also required a course catalog that offered a modern, user-friendly way for learners to search, filter, and engage with courses. They also needed to provide personalization, allowing users to plan what learning they're going to undertake on the platform. So the way we did that, we developed a local plugin, which is for the catalog, and associated blocks for dashboard. The custom catalog, if enabled on the site, it replaces the standard Moodle catalog or the new Moodle Workplace catalog as well to ensure a seamless experience. Learners are able to explore courses by category or apply dynamic filters such as tags, readings, learning plan criteria, or just search, free text search. The use of the filters on the catalog are configurable by the administrator. In addition to filters are applied instantly without reloading of the page. You can also bookmark results, or that's actually adding a course to your learning plan on your dashboard, or you can share the searches that you've done through URLs. The catalog also supports multiple displays, so it's grid or list view as standard sort of catalogs do these days. And each course tile provides essential information about a course at a glance, including an image, the duration, the title, star rating, and a call to action if it's wanted. Learners also have the option to add or remove courses, as I mentioned, directly to their learning plan using the bookmark icon. Each user's learning plan is displayed on their dashboard through a learning plan block, where they can manage the actual courses on their plan as well. So they can filter and remove and add where necessary. So together with these features, it delivers a dynamic, personalized experience and visually engaging catalog. that enhances the discoverability and supporting learners in building their own pathways through their site. Next one. So the last slide here that I'm going to just talk about is about dynamic rules. To be honest with you, much of the heavy lifting and automation on the LMS is done by the standard dynamic rules functionality in Moodle Workplace. If you don't know what that is, it basically means to define predefined criteria that if they're matched, it triggers some actions on the LMS. So either enrolling, unenrolling, awarding a certificate, or sending a notification. So we also developed a few different dynamic rules. One, for example, is just illustrated here. This ability to trigger an action on if a learner they complete a set of courses out of a group of courses. So let's say, for example, they have 40 courses, they need to complete 15 of those courses, they can meet that criteria here and be awarded a certificate. Okay, that's me. Sophie, on to you.
Thank you so much, Kenny. Hi, everyone. My name is Sofia Exarchou. I'm part of the UNSSC team. Hi to everyone that I met also the previous days. It's really nice to see you in here. So I will be talking to you about some of the steps we were taking in parallel with all the developments that we did on Moodle Workplace. And they stemmed basically from all the usage we were doing on the report builder. Again, for those of you that were yesterday in the workshop, they talked a lot about the report builder. It's a really good tool that is embedded in Workplace. And we decided to just further enhance the insights that we receive from that. So we invested a lot into developing our own capacity in UNSSC on AI. And basically what we have done is we've invested in 3 projects together with a local foundation from the Piemonte area. And the 3 projects are the sentiment analysis, the semantic analysis, and the recommender system. And I'm going to show you how these connect to Moodle and in which interfaces we interact with those tools. So for the sentiment analysis, this is a tool that we've developed locally. We host it locally at UNSSC. Basically, so the screenshot here shows a quick excerpt from our Power BI. This is when we have a typical Moodle report that we also project on Power BI. We also, for each forum, post, and discussion, and journal, or assignment, or questionnaire, or survey, or what have you, we have a toggle, let's say, which allows us to see every of these questions and then understand the overall sentiment in the question. So this is a really quick tool for our teachers and instructional designers to understand where pain points are in the courses. And right below that, we have the semantic analysis. So this is, again, an excerpt from Power BI, where basically we have the commonalities in free text responses from Moodle activities, usually mostly those in questionnaire surveys and open text activities. And then we generate word clouds for each of the sentiments. So to understand what is like positive and what is negative. And then especially for the feedback, the course feedback, it is really helpful for us to immediately see, oh, long video, or like you really can tell where the problems are through the semantic analysis. Most of the work, though, we have put into the recommendations. And basically here what we've done is we've built a recommender system that is tailored, let's say, to learners that work within the UN. And this is very particular in a way because the UN has really cumbersome titles and the organizations and a lot of acronyms and what have you. So we really had to develop the tool so that it includes, the employee's duty station, what we call where you're located and where you work, your organization, your function, title, and grades, and so forth. And basically what we are actually doing now, so it's a project that we still have with Synergy and we plan to upgrade our course catalog. We are going to embed a feature in which there's going to be a suggested recommendation for users on the course catalog. So how does this work? Basically, we have the information from our Salesforce, our CRM, where we have the learner information, and we do some background similarity calculation there just to understand what commonalities people have. And then we, together with the sentiment analysis that we've done previously on the platform, we try to understand which courses were appreciated by our learners and also people that have similar backgrounds, and then also understand what are you actually doing right now on Moodle and could potentially want to do next. So there's a whole matrix factorization going on there together with the sentiment analysis that ends up giving you the recommendations. And the recommendations they can be like from 5 to 10. We're trying to, at the moment, we're scoping still how we're going to go about it in the catalog. But we do aim it to be something that can be can refresh on a daily basis, but at the same time in a way so that there's still gonna be some change on the recommendations for the user. And overall, all of these three systems that we have developed, for example, the sentiment and the semantic analysis, they all have different update dates. So if a course was launched, let's say, yesterday, it's not going to be included in scope for the sentiment or the semantic analysis because there's not going to be enough data, and we will be possibly able to recognize the users, and their anonymity is going to be compromised. So there are specific, let's say, policies in place for how often all of these systems run. So that was, from my side, a bit describing the technical work that has been happening on the background. And Ugo, I'm going to hand over to you for the next part.
Well, thanks a lot. Thanks, Kenny. And thanks, Sofia. And you heard a lot of what we've done, but there's more that we would like to cook moving forward. And I believe we're all familiar with this African proverb. So if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So one of the, let's say, spicy update that we left it for the end of the presentations is the official announcement of a memorandum of understanding that we signed with Moodle HQ and Synergy Learning to look at really serving the UN system and focus around three main areas. So a continuous research and development, then the possibility to and willingness to share what we develop to support the roadmap of Moodle Workplace, and the continuous process of knowledge sharing and information exchange. I want to take the last few minutes for the words of gratitude from both Moodle HQ, Liz, Jose Marco, Emilio, and the all colleagues at Moodle HQ for the trust and support, and Johnny, Kenny, Amanda here, and all team at Synergy Learning. For us, we are looking at the MOU as a process to which we can really achieve this one UN learning system, learning experience through partnership, breaking down silos, connect people, and making learning a true shared assets for all colleagues down there serving the systems all around the world, really. Thanks a lot. And thank you. And now, Bill, open for questions. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Pau from Tresipun in Barcelona. I have two questions of the first part. It's maybe are very concrete, but why you approve the enrollment in the CRM and not in the Drupal, or like an e-system, an e-commerce system? And where do you create the courses? Do you let the managing teams to create courses in CRM and the CMS or in Workplace? Thank you.
So just if I got it correctly, the question is why the CRM and not Drupal? And then the second question is where we do create courses, right? Whether first in the LMS and then or Drupal or the CRM. Right? So I can just give you the organizational response, and then I leave to Sofia and Kenny if they want to add. We actually work for strict security concern because of the UN work and regulation. So for us, hosting our user details on Drupal, particularly the demographic data that we then reuse for the recommendation assistance, was not a possibility. So we manage the registrations, but most of if not the totality of demographic data are actually stored in CRM. The CRM also allows us, going forward, to a process of scalability that we have reused in the implementation of what Kenny described as a CRM integrations, and also the possibility to look back and the completion data. On your second questions, and let me just, anything that you want to add? On the second questions, I mean, it was a process of analyzing the stakeholders. So most of our colleagues are now more and more familiar with the designing courses on the Moodle-based LMS. So for us, going from Moodle LMS to Moodle Workplace was actually tapping into the previous experience that we had. We later integrate historically CRM and Drupal. So for us, we didn't want to change that habit, but we wanted to leverage that habit and then make it work at a systemic level by creating integration. So, thanks to you. Thanks for the question.
Any other questions? Yes.
Hi, so my question is about the recommender system. I'd love to hear more about it. I appreciate you had a very limited time, but is it in a way creating personalized learning pathways depending on people's roles? Could you tell us a bit more about that? And what would always important when it came to designing this system? What data do you use?
Yes, thank you so much. This is a really nice question, and thank you for allowing me to give some more light to this. So yes, basically what we're trying to do, also being very mindful of how AI interferes in our daily lives, we just want to give the users or the learners, let's say, a way to click a button, let's say, which they can really understand that this is an interaction with AI, and get the first from 5 to 10 choices on the top on the catalog recommended to them, and that immediately will show them whether they're already part of their learning plan, so they will have like this blue bookmark, let's say, or they will not be part of it. So if they want to complement the learning plan, they can still have the option to add it there. And the way it is calculated, it's in a way, so the matrix factorization, what it does is it allocates points, let's say, to your previous interactions within the system, but at the same time with the background similarity calculation, if a user just arrived in the system and has done nothing whatsoever, we just give them the option to receive recommendations based on people in the same function, mostly, as them, have rated as really good content. So this is how we are trying to, let's say, push recommendations only based on what is your current role within the organization, how close is your function, and then whether the sentiment analysis of the users that are similar to you have thought that this is good content for you. So it's a bit complicated. We've done so much testing on it, and we are still, I think we need a little bit more to feel comfortable to launch it, like fine-tuning who the neighbors are, let's say, of you as a user that receives recommendations. So it's a long process for us that we're a very small team and we're not experienced so much in AI, but it's a very nice learning curve. Thank you.
Maybe we have time for just one question. Do you have? Oh, sorry.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for this presentation. I want to ask about the sentiment analysis. Are you using AI to analyze things? Then one of the questions, and probably you already answered, because one of the regulations that doesn't allow it's analyze sentiment if you can identify the person or the people that has put the message wherever. And for the reason you have like about boundaries, as you said, if the course has been opened yesterday because we only have a form message. We don't show them the information. Can you tell us about which are the limits?
Yes.
We expect that more than 100 messages, whatever, or something like that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So in the sentiment analysis, basically all the, let's say, kind of AI part is in the pre-processing, but then also in the identification of the language detection, let's say, and then the recognition of the sentences up until the point where the model is used to attribute a sentiment. And what happens is exactly as you said, if you have a course that has just been launched, it's a bit not advisable, let's say, to already share this data because we would be able to identify the colleagues. So what we do is we have a 3-month opening for the course, and after they have reached at least 300 responses, are we going to run the sentiment analysis on these courses. At the same point, the semantic takes even longer. So after we've run the sentiment, after 2 months, we're going to move on with the semantic, because also it doesn't change that often. If you do if you achieve a baseline for your sentiment, for your semantic analysis data, then it takes a bit of time until you can see a variation happening. So it's both respect towards people's data, but also for us to have better quality data at the end of the day. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sofia. Thank you, Kenny. Let's give them a round of applause. I imagine you have many questions for them. You can find them just around in the corner.